Welcome to the Men of Honor podcast. My name is Corey, your host, and this is the first podcast. Probably, I'm not sure when the last time I recorded one. It must have been 10 months or so, but been busy. There's a law that I learned and sort of stopped me from doing podcasts all over the place. So if you imagine if you had 10 different things that you're doing and you're doing 10 different things in one go, and if you were sort of traveling, you want to do 10 meters, for instance, and I was doing 10 different things, I would only travel 1 meter to whatever direction I was doing, and it would take me 10 times long as I would want to do to get the 10 meters or to achieve that goal or whatever. So it was important for me to sort of take off some of the things I was doing and just focus on one single thing, which has been absolutely incredible, because when I had one single focus, it started propelling me very fast towards one direction. So that in itself is the reason why I've not made podcasts, and especially in this side of things. But the reason that compelled me to make this is because my son is now actively dating. So he's 19 years old, and he's initially had sort of relationships. In fact, going back, we'd gone through sort of lockdown and everything, and he had never had a relationship as an adult. So he just kept doing his thing. He sort of lost touch with his friends from college. So you're just sort of living the same day. He goes to work, he comes back, he plays games, and then, so there was this sort of thing where he was just not being social. So knowing, if you know my past, there was his age, I used to go out a lot and be part of the PUAQ community, and we used to go out clubbing and interacting with ladies and just really building our confidence with social interactions. So I was concerned. So I said to him, what's going on? Are you interested in looking to date or do anything like that? It was a conversation we had, and he was like, yeah, but you could tell that you wanted some advice. So I said, there is nothing wrong. So I think he needed a license. I said, there is nothing wrong going onto Tinder and actually finding somebody to date. So there's nothing wrong with that. You might think it's a bit weird. You might think it's a bit odd, but this is the new way of meeting people. So that was like a light bulb in his head, like, oh, shit, maybe I could use Tinder. So I think he must have signed up to Tinder, and I sort of walked him through that his profile should, be not sleazy, should not be weird, just be yourself. And then I said, when you open and you start speaking those conversations, don't send dick pics or anything like that. Just, be social. Just sort of observe what's happening on the profile and then comment or say something about what's happening on the profile that's relevant. So before you know it, in a few weeks, he started dating somebody. But she happened to be from America. It's like, dude, how are you dating somebody from America? But I didn't have a problem with that. At least that was his way of, mixing or meeting somebody. So they were in some sort of relationship. And then, it went on till Christmas or something like that. And then they broke up. And then what seemed like a couple of weeks later, you had already met somebody. But again, this was in the UK now. So it was about 30 or 40 miles away. And up until this time, I actually thought, I didn't know whether you're still a virgin or not a virgin and stuff like that. So he ended up going and then met this girl and stuff like that. And there was one important part about this because, and this is very important, I spoke to him about this, and I said that this is before he went to the hotel so they can meet up with this girl. I said to him, I bought him condoms, by the way. So I bought him condoms, and before that, we had the conversation. You need to lube it up if she's virgin, obviously, because it's going to hurt. But at the same time, you need to read between the lines. So she might want or say she wants to do it, and she might be okay with wanting you to do it. But if there's any slight resistance in what, just stop, don't do it. And she might not say no because she's thinking that if she doesn't do it, then you might find another woman to do it and stuff. So she might feel pressured to want to lose her virginity, even though she's not ready. So I want you to be intuitive to that, which is very difficult to teach, which is very difficult to teach somebody without that much experience. So yeah, he went on, he did what he had to do, and I had to just trust that, if she said no, he would stop and stuff like that. Those are the conversations that I thought it was responsible as a dad to have, and I think it's responsible for any dad to have with their kid, especially a boy, to say, you know what, if she says no, and what was weird is that I said, you might have blue balls, and he laughed. So I thought, oh, he knows what blue balls is. So he's experienced it before. So that means he knows where I'm getting at with this. So yeah, it was important. So anyways, he lost his virginity, and then every time he wanted to get laid, he would have to take an Uber to go to Milton Keynes, because there's no connecting train or buses to where we live between Milton Keynes. So it was very expensive shag, if you ask me. But anyways, he went on for a few months. He broke up with her, and then he's gone out with a few other people. And then up until recently, we started talking about, the people that he's dating and what he's doing. And I was saying to him, I don't want you to feel like you need to meet somebody and then instantly make them your girlfriend. You're far too young to actually, he's 19, so you're far too young to actually start deciding who you're going to be with for the rest of your life. I'm not saying go and hurt people and sleep with them and leave them. What I'm just saying is that just spend more time, go out clubbing, go out to the pubs, go out for meals, go into some interesting stuff, and just spend time with people that without having to go into the bedroom, which was quite funny to have, funny conversation to have. But it was funny to see that this weekend he went on a date, central London. Took her golfing, or this place called Swingers in London, and he had that experience, which was good. And I think he's sort of now maturing in that. Now, why am I telling you all this story, and why is this important, and why would this prompt me to make this episode after such a long period of time? It's the fact that the dating scene, most people think it changes over time. But the basic principles of attraction never change. And for him, when I was giving him advice, he was literally almost rolling his eyes like, what do you know about dating? And then he would try his thing, and then it would collapse on him. And then he would try what I told him to do, and then it would work. And it's only because I've had so much experience way before that. So in terms of female psychology, I understand what's the attraction process, I understand. So I'm walking him through these different things. So one of the situations was this one where he was speaking to a girl online. They'd not met yet, but he decided he was going to go and meet her at her place, which it wouldn't have worked, because the idea of meeting up at her place would have been amazing up until a few hours before it happens. She would start freaking out and thinking, you know what? He sounds like a decent guy, but is he truly decent? It does look like he's 19, but what if he's 50? So all of these things start going through her mind, and then she sort of flaked. And the reason why she flaked is because she was scared. And I'm not saying they were planning to go and have sex or anything like that, but they were going to meet up. But the fact that she was meeting up with a guy she's meeting for the first time in a place where she's supposed to be safe, I don't think she was ready to do that. And I spoke to him about this and said, you can never do that. You have to go, yes, you can go and pick her up from her place, and going to briefly see her in her place is actually more impactful. So if you said, I'll come and pick you up at your place, you briefly walk in, generally she sees you inside her place, but she also has the comfort that you're actually leaving. So you're going to wherever, to the drink or a pub, whatever. It actually reduces the friction of coming back. So that's a huge point that I was trying to get to him, that, if they're both consenting adults, maybe they want to do whatever, it becomes more possible for it to happen if he comes briefly into the house, she sees him in the house, but because there's low pressure in terms of him staying, we're going somewhere else, it releases that pressure. But because he's already been there, she's more comfortable allowing him to come back, especially if he doesn't act like a dick when he's out there. So that was another thing that he sort of learned, and I said, this is how you do it, in order to, and obviously it sounds like I'm training him to go and get laid with girls and leaving them, but that's not what was the point. The point was that they must have been sexting, obviously. So there was some sort of hint, because he had said, "Oh, where can I buy condoms?" So he already, in his mind, he knew that there was something going on along those lines. And I think the reality of the whole thing happening became very scary, because there wasn't that comfort built. So we used to call it comfort. You have to build comfort, and then with that comfort, you qualify, and then anyways. So the dating process has never changed. The psychology has never changed. It's all the same. The fear for women, why they wouldn't want to meet a guy and bring them to their house, it's all the same. I mean, people like Ted Bundy and all these serial killers have made it that women are scared to get people into their house without actually seeing them, that they date. And then now with all these other shit that has happened with like the PC who killed that girl and stuff like that, women are quite protective, and they have to be, because there's a lot of psychos out there. I was watching a documentary about this dude who met this girl on Tinder, and then all of a sudden when they were dating, he became a psycho, and then he ended up stabbing up this girl, and completely insane. And he was a handsome dude who could have easily got a girl, and the girl was quite pretty. She could have easily got into another relationship, but they were stuck together for a few years before all of this accumulated to this tragedy. So, and my point being that, there is a lot of crazy things going out in terms of the dating. There's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of, and watching that really prompted me to start really thinking about what is going on. And I sort of logged on to this thing here, and I was looking at the stats, and what the stats showed me was that all the relationship episodes were the highest listened to. So I think this is not just going to be focused on, relationship advice, and really start helping guys to have a better view on themselves, also a better view on dating, and also be respectful towards women. Like, I think most guys, because there's so much porn and there's so much ways of viewing all that sort of material. Some of these guys that are now coming into adulthood have been exposed to instant porn, and their view on what sex is could be just a brutal, sex coming on a face and all that stuff, which is very disrespectful and not very good for any woman. I think over a period of time, when you get to know each other and you're comfortable with each other and you want to explore other sexual things, then you can do what you like. But if that's the view of what sex should be, it becomes very destructive for any, relationship. So I feel compelled to actually go and just start talking about this and start, really trying to bring the truth back. What's supposed to be the truth? And I think the truth is more, there's so much hate, there's so much pain that is associated with just living as a human being. It doesn't matter whether you're a woman or man. And if you can focus on being a better version of yourself, it actually helps you to be productive have fruitful relationships, and really connect with people in a deeper way. Because sometimes we miss out on the connection because we're so focused on the shit that is going around us, So it removes your focus to what's important. So I've been speaking far too long, actually. I think I want to stop right here. But yeah, probably it's all the 10 months of stuff I've been suppressing is now trying to come out in one go. So I'm just going to stop it on here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. My call to action was to go to the Facebook group. I've not been to the Facebook group for a while. But just watch out for more episodes. Thank you.